act like y'all didn't like that song when it came out. What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. It's hum day. It's the middle of the week. And for some of y'all, closer to payday. But until then, sit back and relax because it is the Get Snap Podcast. Darnell Sparrow, Antoine Smooth, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here loud and live.
Loud and live.
Right.
Well, before we get the party started, I gotta tell you something. See, so at the end of the show, you might want to give your social media information because we got a couple messages. They want to know. They want to know a little bit more about the notorious PIMP. Who is this guy that's been
Really?
co-hosting with me? So we got to come back. So at the end of the show, we might get your social media info out there
Okay.
and let them know.
Mhm.
Them let we got some fans out there.
All right, let's go.
We don't know how they look, but they fans.
Okay.
And I want to give a shout out to all our listeners, of course, in the good old US of A. But we got people in Ireland, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Singapore. I wonder is
Oh
that
my.
Kevin Sullivan?
No, not Singapore.
Yeah,
Wow.
yes, we are going all over the world.
Oh my
And
goodness.
loving it. I'm appreciating it. And we gonna get all these countries listening.
All right, let's do
We
it.
we do off the top of the dome.
Oh, the
You know,
paper.
we don't have all that big time equipment. We don't need it.
No, don't need just have our phones and let's
We
go.
got the phones, we got the microphones, and we getting it on.
All right.
Get a chance to check out AEW. I'm watching NXT right now, but I did see Cody regain the TNT Championship. Since this is Wednesday night Q&A, let's just start off with that. What are your thoughts on him winning it back?
It made sense because pretty much Mr. Brody Lee basically was holding it for him until he got back. So now he's going to resume the open challenges every week like he's been doing. So I guess he took a little break, came back, and now he ready to rock and roll now. So I think Orange Cassidy is the next opponent.
Orange Cassidy is next on the list. And I'm definitely excited to see that one. And we see the main event. I was a little surprised about the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little surprised about that, but I understood it once they told the story about it. Him and Luther go way back. One of his guys he competed with back in the day. So that part made sense. But a lot of youngers probably didn't know that. They probably thought they was gonna put an NXT, AEW guy in the mix, but you can get an NXT guy too. Chris Jericho been everywhere.
Right.
But it was a good match. But the ending with MJF coming out, I thought that was kind of pointless to me.
Yeah.
But that damn elbow he got that Judas effect, he make that looks real easy. And
Right.
that's hard to do. It's better to do it with a snap like that.
Right. You good when you make a basic move look good.
Definitely. I mean, MMA guys don't even use it like that.
Mm-mm.
But of course, it is Wednesday night. It's Q&A. I almost got a little nervous. We got the questions like at the last minute they were coming through. I said I knew the fans. I knew y'all was gonna come through. We gonna jump right on. I see the first two, is dealing with stuff that happened recently. So we're gonna start. We're gonna take it back to Monday Night Raw. Mustafa Ali, now the leader of Retribution. How you feel about that?
Well, I'm gonna say this here. I think they just threw that in because they couldn't think of anything else. Of course, they did the thing with the hacker, with him. They're supposedly supposed to be the hacker, and I guess with this, I guess they were just grasping for straws, So I kind of figured that he would be the leader by when they did the segment with him, Ricochet and Apollo. He was wearing black. I like, why is Mustafa Ali wearing black? So that kind of told me. And then when the Hurt Business and him was in the ring, I'm like, come on now. You really think I saw it coming, And I don't know.
Say this about
I
that.
think they just threw something down.
I'm curious. We're so used to seeing Mustafa Ali as a baby face.
Right.
Now, what they need to do is unmask the rest of them. Just take the mask off of them and just let them be a group.
Right, because there's no
I
there need to be no T-bars and redemption
chilling.
and whatever that crap is. Yeah,
There don't need to be none of them.
right.
Because I once he gets on that mic and start talking, that's gonna let me know if he's ready or not.
And also that's going to determine, well, in my opinion, that I'm invested into this retribution. So
Right. So this mic spill, when he comes out and explains himself, I mean, is he gonna have to nail it?
yeah, he gonna have
And
to.
I really think he is because if you go back to the social media, he basically was walking us there. He
Hmm.
was letting us know how he felt.
Right.
So I'm thinking we might see a whole new look.
Yeah.
We might just see a completely different Mustafa Ali, and it might work. Like I said, it's all going to depend on how they do this.
Right.
But they need to take those masks off them.
Right. And then on the other side of the fence, we got the Hurt Business. Now, did you notice Ricochet? Did you notice when they left and Ricochet kind of thought about it for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
I think he
I
may
won't.
actually
Don't
join.
be. You think he'll join the Hurt Business?
Yeah. Did you see this segment when they was him, Paulo Cruz, Mustafa was talking, and MVP offered him a spot, and
Right.
Ricochet kind of stood there like thinking for a minute before it went off. It was like 2 seconds. He was
He
kind of thinking
wouldn't. He
about it.
personally wouldn't fit. He wouldn't fit. Cause if he do join them, when they pretty much he's gonna be that one that they bully most of the time.
Yeah.
He's not a faction wrestler. Let's put it that way. He's not fit for no group. But what if he goes to the other side? What if he go join Mustafa?
That could work. I could see that.
And then it leaves Apollo. He's like a man without a country.
Hmm.
Should he go with his boys or should he go to her business?
Right. Because I'm thinking this is going to
That's fine.
determine everything. Like, he may go to SmackDown, Apollo Cruz.
Right.
That's just my guess.
I mean, if they set it up right, shoot, that could be Survivor Series right there.
Hmm.
But since we sticking to the WWE, let's go to NXT.
Okay.
Ember Moon coming back. Do you like the Mad Max Beyond? No, that's not Beyond
No, no,
Thunderdome.
that's the
That's the
original
original Mad
Mad
Max.
Max. Right, right. Yeah.
Now, didn't we see this on what the WWE 19 or 2K20?
I think it was 2K20.
Wasn't it 20?
2K20, right.
When they all had the biker looks and all that.
Yeah, the Ember Moon had that same look.
Some say they really coming for these video games.
Right.
So what are your thoughts of her coming back to NXT? You think it's gonna benefit
I
her?
think so. I don't think the main roster, I think she kind of had a bad rap on the main roster. So it's like, pretty much if not doing so well there, you can always come back to NXT. So that's going to work well for her because she'll have new opponents as well. There's new women that came in, like Shotzi
Right,
Blackheart and all these other folks.
and that women's division is huge now.
Right.
And we definitely gonna see some competition. But I'm gonna throw something in there. It wasn't on the list,
Hmm.
but I feel it needs to be talked about. You think NXT ball back Halloween Havoc as a shot at AEW?
I think so. I
Because
think it was yes and no. Yeah.
Cody was trying to get the rights to all those events. Now, if they do this, they need to do one thing, right?
Hmm.
They need to bring the big pumpkin back.
Not that.
They need to bring, if you're gonna bring Halloween Havoc back, you need to bring back the big pumpkin with the monster on top of it. That big inflated, you need to do
You
that.
know what? They may actually have. They own everything from WCW, so I think they may have it.
That's what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
need to go in. If you're gonna go all out, do it.
Yeah.
And with Ashanti Blackheart hosting, so I wonder what defines a host for this. Is she gonna be dressed up or going in the crowd, just interviewing people?
Probably.
I mean, I wonder what is that role. But
Probably.
I'm interested to see
Hmm.
who's gonna recommend that.
Yeah.
Who's Finn Balor going after?
Well, I know they mentioned on the reports that he had a broken jaw, and they showed the X-ray of his jaw, and I'm like, man, every time people win the NXT title, they get hurt.
Right, and especially the ones we want to win the title.
Right,
It's like winning the championship is a curse,
right.
like the match curse.
And then they said something about Kyle O'Reilly lost some teeth in the match.
Right.
That's crazy.
I'm like, what is going on? And we're gonna put on a full suit, about 2 mouth guards.
Right.
I don't know. Well, let's go back to Raw. Let's talk about this Mysterio thing.
All right.
The question was, what are our thoughts? Do we see Olea Mysterio being with Murphy?
Well, it looked like it's leading to that, so I say yes. I don't see no betrayals or nothing like that going on. So, she says she don't like Seth, but she think that Murphy is a good person, So we'll see.
I kind of see it as a sell. Now you see Murphy and Seth, they're fighting and whatnot.
Hmm.
And what I see probably happening is, Murphy gonna get in good. They might start off, they just might be friends. Murphy probably gonna apologize for all he did, this and that, and the third. But it'll be a setup. She gonna end up joining. All of them will probably go to Seth Rollins. Murphy will go back, and Aaliyah going with her.
That'll be interesting.
Because you can see how they keep calling her young and naive. You just walking her in. You letting us know that somewhere she gonna turn against the family.
Yeah.
Some of this is kind of telling itself.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But Murphy is too good for this. It's too good to be doing all this Monday Night Messiah and Disciples.
right.
He's good for this. He needs to go back to NXT and be the NXT champion. I'm saying.
And then change his music back up to what he had before.
Please do, or at least what he had when he had Blake and Murphy.
Yeah, that was one I'm talking about. Yeah, that one.
Oh, you don't like the one he had that little hard rock beat he had before?
No, I like that. The one with Blake and Murphy. Yeah, I like that one.
I like the one he had when he went so ahead. It was like the one they got on the 2K 2021. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Got that little hard rock beat for him.
That one. Yeah, that's the one I like. Yeah, he need to go back to that.
Oh well, let's take it home. This is more your speed. I got my opinions on it too. What are your thoughts on Power Pro Wrestling? And before you answer that, I recently listened to Randy Hales. He did a Facebook Live, and I asked him a lot of questions about Power Pro. Like a lot of guys came through there, and it was a WWE developmental territory. So, with that being said, the question is, what were your thoughts on Power Pro?
Oh, Power Pro was great, man. Randy Hales had a vision, and the vision was to bring Saturday morning wrestling back to Memphis, and he did it on his own. He was the owner, founder, and president, like he always says, each time. So of course, he had help, but Randy had a vision, and he wanted to bring Memphis wrestling back, and he did just that, and it was awesome.
I mean, you got to think about it. Kurt Angle was in Power Pro Wrestling,
right?
Way before he was what we know now.
And then,
I mean, he bought Michael P.S. Hayes back.
He brought him back,
and he got the Power Pro title.
Right. And then he brought, Triple H came through there. Shawn Michaels came through there. I mean, you name it. I mean, I think DX was still together at the time. Yeah.
I mean, you had Rikishi. He was under a number gimmick. He was Power Pro champion. You had Albert. He was Baldo, which he said he was one of the guys that he was very proud of that did some real good. He was real proud of Baldo.
Right. I remember all them guys.
Of course, you had Jerry Lawler. We had Bryan Danielson, aka American Dragon, under a mask.
And then you had Brian Kendrick, aka Spanky.
Yeah, you had Spanky.
And you had.
I mean, you go back because I have the whole collection of Power Pro Wrestling, and I got it just for the purpose of going back and just seeing what was the fascination. I mean, you talk about the Mid-South Coliseum shows. You talk about the Power Pro MCW feud that they had.
That was really, really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
And that was one of the questions I asked him about, how did that get started? I mean, that was a damn good feud. I mean, who was their champ? I mean, who we know as All Truth
Yep.
was the
He
MCW
was that
champion.
time he was K Crush. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something. Get on YouTube. Go look at both shows. Go look at MCW. Go look at Power Pro. That was, to me, you wouldn't even think it was a developmental territory.
Right. And then another former
You had a lot
champion
of guys,
that was the mofo from Memphis, Steve Bradley.
most underrated wrestler I've ever seen. Very
Mm-hmm.
underrated. Victoria was his
Yep.
manager. I mean, that dude was so underrated. He passed away
Yeah.
very young. He had potential written all over him. Had he stayed alive, he probably would have did some real big things too. I mean, he can wrestle. He had the look. He can talk,
Right.
and he was
Right.
homebrew.
And then you had Blade Boudreaux. He was from so I think he was from was it Lafayette or Shreveport? I think Lafayette, Louisiana.
I remember
Mm-hmm.
him. I mean, a lot of homegrown cats that came through Power Pro. Some of them even still
Right.
wrestling now. AA, Mr. Personality himself,
Oh yeah,
Derek King, was a
man, he
Power
was
Pro.
a young guy. He
Still
was a
going.
young guy when he started. Very young.
I mean, Coco B.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Power Pro. Spellbinder, no
No
paint,
paint.
nothing. We had Dangerous Doug came through. Brian Christopher came
Right.
through.
Road Warrior Hawk came
I
through.
mean, the
Yeah.
Roy Hall came through. Can't
Jim
forget that.
Cornette.
I mean,
Yep.
Jim Cornette, because he was coming again. He was coming out. That was white suit Jim
Right.
Cornette.
James E version.
Yes. I mean, you would never think that show was a territory, but I mean, it was fun. It lasted for a good one. It was 98. Was it the
Was like from
01? I
98
believe
to
it was.
2001. Mm-hmm.
But go on YouTube, check those shows out. Go on YouTube and check those MCW
Right.
feuds. Just type in MCW versus Power Pro feud. That story tells itself.
Right. And I remember they had an old they had in I think it was the event called the War on Ice. At the time it was at the Mall of Memphis. And that was a good show.
Yeah.
They had the ring on the ice rink, on the skating rink. I mean,
Was that the event that William Regal
yep.
came to?
He was a trainer then. Mm-hmm. He was training those too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Now people didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that. See, and shout out to the Mall of
Right.
Memphis. See, I actually when I moved here, it was still up, but it was slowly
Yeah,
going down by the time I moved. But from what I heard, that was
yeah,
the
Mall
spot
of
right
Memphis
there.
was a true spot, man. That was everybody and their mama went there. Unfortunately, they tore it down. Still to this day, don't understand why, but you know, it was some good times there. They had a lot of wrestling there, especially MCW. They always put it right in the middle of the
Right.
skating rink for their big shows, and it was free.
That's why I say now. And I mentioned to Randy Hale that he needs to do a Power Pro reunion
Hmm.
show. And I think it kind of he thought about it, but he was like, well, who could he
Right.
get? I mean, they still got a lot of guys that's still around. I know you can't get the big names. It would be nice if you call Kurt
Yeah,
Angle,
Kurt Angle, Bulldog Reigns. Let's see.
the
Yeah,
Bulldog. I mean,
Big
Big
Grimes.
Grimes.
Glenn Colker.
I mean, a lot of talent is
Right.
around. Just got to bring them in. I mean, it don't have to be, you know, like a big pay per
Right.
view type event. But he said if he do it, he gonna do it in Jonesboro. But I put it on his mind, and a lot of
It
people
makes sense.
agreed. But let's go into the
Right.
in here, and this one involving Tessa Blanchard. Now, with all she's been going through, and allegedly did this, and having to give up the Impact, world title, where should she go next?
So see, that's a tough question there. Um, Now, me personally, I think she needs to go to WWE. Me personally, and the reason I say that is of one person, and that's Charlotte Flair. You know the money that they would generate if them two had a match, and then plus, right,
And I agree with that. And here's my thing on that. If that would have happened, we're gonna have to get somebody in place like a Shawn Michaels or somebody to set all that up to get the story told
Right.
correctly. But if I had to choose, she needs to stay in Mexico.
Yeah.
She needs to stay
Mm-hmm.
in Mexico. At least I'll say at least for another a year to let some things die down. You known in Mexico. Your husband lives in Mexico. He
Yeah.
wrestles there. Your name is still your name is out there more. Nobody is not picking with you like they're doing here in
Yeah.
the States. So I was lay low in Mexico for a year, win some championships. Because girls like Ty
Oh, she
Valkyrie
is
did
a
it.
legend in Mexico. Oh my goodness. You mentioned Ty Valkyrie name,
I mean,
people go, yeah, we know her, it's crazy.
I say, and she wrestles out there too. But you need get your name out there. Show these folks that all of what was said about you, all that
Right.
was BS. Then if you come to WWE, I would say the best time to do it is between the Royal Rumble and
Yeah.
WrestleMania. Even if it was just a one match
Yeah.
deal, you come in and wrestle
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, because I agree with the fact that she should
Right.
wrestle Charlotte. That could be
Right.
a main event.
Now on the flip side, now if she went to AEW, I would say have her daddy manage her. That would make sense because you got
And,
Sean Spears and then FTR, and then you have his daughter. You know,
and there were some rumors going around that was possibly
yeah,
going to happen. But I think the only thing that will mess that up, excuse me, if she does that and Tully managed her, if Tully managed her, she would overshadow FTR.
mm, that's a good point.
I would think she would overshadow them. But at the same time, if that was the case, that would mean one, FTR remain the tag champs. She has to win the AEW women's title. Sean Spears had to go get
No
that
Vic,
TNT
no
title.
ifs, ands, or buts.
If they gonna run it like that, just like how the Four Horsemen was, everybody
Yep.
winning championships. Because none of them probably be world champion. So Sean Spears get the TNT, Tessa gets the AEW women's, FTR is already the champ, tag team champions.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. Let's see what we got going on. And again, thank y'all for listening to the Get Snap podcast on this Wednesday night. Q&A time. Love it, love it, love it, love answering these questions. But before we continue, I want to
Okay.
address something real quick. Because on my Bad Superman TV, I post, videos of events I go to and whatnot. And it seems, the Jerry Lawler videos get a lot of views.
Mm-hmm.
So that main event from the 50th anniversary got over 1,000 views. And it seems that there's some who seem to think that Jerry Lawler is doing this because he's broke.
That is far from the case.
I'm not, I agree with that. And a lot of people do it because he's broke. A lot of people say he's too old. I mean, a lot of people don't understand. And this came from him personally. Because I asked him why he still do it. He does it because one, he still loves it and he loves helping indie
Yeah.
promotions. And the one thing Jerry Lawler can still do, whether nobody wants to believe it or not, he can still put butts in
Still do.
seats. He may not can't fill the arena, but he can still fill those gyms. He don't care. He get a nice crowd when he comes to the Omen. When he's not at the when he's not at the Omen Arena, they still draw a nice crowd. But when he's there, they
Right.
draws a bigger crowd. When they're at Studio 45, when he's not there, still get a nice crowd. But when he's there, that place is packed. Even if he's not even wrestling, even just coming
Right.
out doing interviews. He's not doing nothing to me that can get him injured permanently. They know how to take it easy with him.
Right.
So I don't know why people think he's doing it because he's broke. So I mean, he's, in my opinion, like I said, I don't know. I'm not pocket watching. I sure don't think he's broke, but he can still draw
That's right.
fans. He likes what he does. I mean, there's nothing wrong with liking what you do,
Mm-hmm.
regardless how old you are. If you can still do it and do it at a level where you can go longer, I mean, you've been doing this for 50 years. How many wrestlers can? How
Not
many
many.
wrestlers can say that? Let me rephrase that question. How many can say
Right.
that and still be active?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he's very active, especially around this area on the East Coast. He's very active. So I don't think it's about. I don't think it's about money. I'm pretty sure he's one of those. Like I said, he's probably one of those guys that
Right.
manage his money wisely. Because every time you turn around, he's working.
Yeah.
He's doing Monday Night Raw for the longest. I know when they
Mm-hmm.
call him, he's there. And if he's not doing that, he's
So
doing
he,
indie shows.
yeah,
And he's putting
he stay busy,
butts in
no
seats.
doubt.
And if we ever got him on the show, maybe if he say it, because a lot of people might say, well, you ain't really talked to Jerry Law and asked him that. You know what I did? And I did ask him that. I didn't ask it in an affair. They say, I always wonder, you've done it all. You have Parliament for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What drives you? And it's the people.
Right.
He loves the people. He loves entertaining, and
Right.
and they love him. He got a lot of old school fans, and he has a lot of young fans. And like I said, at the same time, he's getting these independent companies
Right.
shine. And I think that's dope because a lot of wrestlers don't do that now. Let's go on to the next question. And this we're going back to AEW. This new attitude with the Young Bucks. Recently they super kicked Tony Schiavone. What were your thoughts on that? Or where do you
To
think they're
be
trying to
honest,
go with
I'm the
this?
one that's scratching my head every time I see it. Cause I'm like, where are they going with this? Okay, you super kick Tony Schiavone, you super kick this guy, you super kick that guy. You know, like they going back to that super kick party. I'm just scratching my head like, what is the purpose of this? Is this going anywhere? You know?
I mean, is it frustration that you're not, winning matches like you normally do, that you haven't won the
Or
AEW
they trying
tag
to
belts?
slick turn heel? I don't know.
I mean, which I thought that probably was gonna happen a
Yeah.
long time ago. So I mean, what are y'all doing? I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they know. But we just gonna pass that up and just let that marinate until we get a proper answer. But the next question is pretty interesting. I don't know if you knew this, but
Yeah, I
Jazz
heard
just
about that.
retired from wrestling. Now, I believe the last match she had was against Miranda Gordy when she lost the title. But I believe SWF. I might be wrong with the letters, and forgive me. But she was the women's champion there, and she fought Miranda Gordon, and Miranda Gordon won the title. But
Yeah.
Hall of Fame,
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. You know, you look at her resume, two-time women's champion. Uh, you know,
I
yeah.
mean, women's champion. Where she went, one of
Mm-hmm.
the longest reigning in
Right.
women's champions.
I mean, oh yeah, man.
Yeah, she was a badass.
She was one of those women that were like, oh my God, you know, she was. There's very few women that are intimidating in wrestling. She was one of those women that was very intimidating. You know.
Very intimidating, but at the same
Exactly.
time, she was good at what she did. And I think when she got with Teddy Long,
Right.
Teddy Long made her look like $1 million. Didn't need a manager, but she had one.
Right.
Made
Her
her
and
look real good. I mean, when
right.
she came through that Survivor Series, and she was that final person,
Right.
I was shocked. And she did her thing and she
And then
dominated.
pairing with Rodney Man.
And
Right.
she left on her terms. That was the thing. She left on her terms. I know her
Yeah.
husband Ronnie Mack, he's still going. I know he does a lot around this area. I know a lot in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe that he's from there.
Right.
Like I said, she left on her terms. I mean, she had a wonderful career. If they do another Hall of Fame for WrestleMania, which I don't think they should until they get the ones
Right.
that's pending in, and we in this one we should I should have put in when we talked about the Hall of Fame on the very first show we
Oh
did.
yeah.
She's definitely one that needs to go in. She's definitely there is no doubt about it. Because she made her mark and kept making her mark even when she left
Right.
WWE. So much respect to Jazz. Awesome career. Sit back, relax, and let the new faces take over. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be around. They'll probably giving
Yeah,
advice.
they
They'll
got
probably
a
doing some
school. Yeah,
training
or no, Rodney
if
Mack.
need
Yeah.
be.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna talk about someone interesting. We've seen we could say two sides of this guy. I don't believe he's wrestling now, but what were your thoughts on Orlando Jordan, WWE and
Well,
Impact?
let's see. Well, let's first we're gonna start with the cabinet, right? When he was with the cabinet, I thought that made sense. JBL had his
Yep.
little group, and that was cool. He was his what chief of staff, right?
The chief of staff. Yep, he was the chief of
Hmm.
staff. Won the US
Right.
belt. Sucks how he lost it. But he lost it quick. Now, did you know that he was
Yeah,
the Ultimate
I
Warrior's
remember
last
that.
opponent?
Ultimate Warrior came to the ring. He got gassed out.
Did he- Yeah, before he hit the ring. Yep, that was in Barcelona, Spain. I believe it was
Hmm.
2008. And Orlando Jordan was the champion for that company. Trust me, it's on YouTube.
Right.
It kind of shook your head a little bit. But Orlando, like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
Orlando Jordan, great athlete. Trained by
And you
Rocky
notice he had
Soul
his
Man Johnson.
mannerisms. He did the Ali shuffle and the punch, the little punch he does after. Yeah.
And I get, yep, because when he came in, he was bald.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how he grew his hair that fast. When he got to the cabinet, and then he goes to Impact or TNA, and he slowly just changed into this. I don't know, kind of like a
Yeah.
black
Pretty
gold
much.
dust, but a black gold dust. Had the girl, had the guy, but a lot of
Hmm.
people didn't know that he really is bisexual. Now people didn't know that, and that was something
Right.
he wanted to do in WWE, but they wouldn't let him do it. And it will
Right.
kind of make you feel a little uncomfortable if that's not if that's really not the style you want to
Right.
go down. I'll say. I think when he did that, I think that kind of I don't want to say
Yeah.
ruined
I
his
don't think it
career,
was
but I don't
necessary.
think it worked. I don't think so neither. But speaking of black wrestlers, should
Oh
Elijah
yeah.
Burke come back to TV?
I actually miss him. I like Elijah Burke. He could talk. Definitely could talk. He could wrestle. Uh.
The last time
Yeah.
we
He was
saw him, he was
managing
in the
Eddie
NWA.
Kingston and all them.
Trying
Yeah.
to
Right.
find him a groove. Yes, WWE, you need to
Right.
bring him back. Bring him back as the Pope. The Pope
Right.
was awesome. Number one, like I said, he could talk on that mic. I'm surprised he didn't become
Right.
Impact champion of any type. He won. He won the opportunity to get the world title
Hmm.
shot, and they was pushing him to the
Right.
moon. But you didn't put a band on him. Even when he was in ECW, I wouldn't mind him being ECW champion. Then when he had the tag team, the knockout tap out connection,
Right. I remember
that was
that.
going somewhere. That was it.
Hmm. They dropped the
ECW could
ball
have did
big
a lot
time.
with him. They dropped the ball on a lot of guys. when they bought that
like they
ECW
did with Chris Harris.
brand back.
Yeah, Monty Brown,
And
Chris
Monty Brown was
Harris.
another one. Oh, they did Chris Harris so bad.
Right.
If I was Chris Harris, I would have retired too. I mean, you
No.
can't bounce back from Braden Walker. I'm sorry. The one that had you looking
Yeah.
generic, you was
Had that
already you looked
Walker
like you was out
Texas
of shape.
Ranger type name. Yeah.
I was like, Braden. I'm like, what? Because I remember our good friend old Scotty C when we had This Week in Wrestling. That was one of the things we talked about.
Yeah.
When he came back, when he went back to Impact Wrestling for that short stint, right after he left the WWE. I'm like,
You
yeah,
ain't really
they
hear from
ruined
him
you.
after that.
Nope, not at all. Again, we gonna bring it back to AEW. Now, this is not necessarily a wrestling question per
Right.
se, like the French say, but with video games. You know, at one time there were talks about AEW
Of
having a
course.
video game. Should they go through with
Absolutely.
it?
I know they interviewed Kenny Omega about it. He said it's in the works. They just trying to find a developer. And I mean, if WWE doing it, why can't AEW do it? You know, and I think it'll be a good game actually. Right.
Yeah, if they do it right, because maybe it's just me. I'm probably one of the very few that actually
Oh,
like the
jeez.
Impact video game, the original one that came out. I actually liked it. I mean, they had good graphics. I think they could have They could have put more wrestlers on there. I mean, the storyline to it was good. It was long. That was one thing. I mean, you couldn't tell me the voice that was in the game.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me that wasn't low key.
That
You
deep,
had to be crazy
that
not
deep
to know
voice
that
he
wasn't
had.
him.
Yeah.
Right. And that's true. What you said as far as game developers, they're gonna have to get an independent
Right.
company that has nothing to do with WWE at all,
Right.
and just take your time and do it. Because I think it'd be dope. I mean, if you you pretty much put the whole roster on there. You got enough to put the whole roster on there
Yep.
and tell a good story. So if you
Because I
do a
know Kenny
storyline
Omega
mode, tell a
said
good
that
story.
he would like to have a GM mode, you know, or like because I remember he said he played wrestling games in the past, and he said he loved the GM mode. He can create his own, stories and his own roster. So he said that'd be cool.
Right.
Right.
Right. And every match you got, they
Mm-hmm.
got rated.
Right.
So we definitely got to do a follow up on that. Now, this next question, this is a good one because this could be the topic. This could be a topic on its own. What was your favorite version of
We
The Rock?
and how long we got? Oh, let's see. My favorite version of The
Exactly.
Rock. Now, I have two. The first one was the corporate Rock.
Okay.
And the reason I say the corporate Rock because not only
Okay.
was he entertaining and funny, but it elevated him as a even better heel, you know. And then the second Rock was
Mm-hmm.
the Rock when he came back and he was facing Goldberg, that Rock. Hollywood Rock, right. Mm-hmm.
The Hollywood Rock.
When he was
Yeah,
outlandish.
that was one
Yeah.
of my favorites. But my other favorite was mine was the Hollywood Rock, and mine was
Yeah,
Nation Rock.
okay.
I believe I'm Nation Rock, and I'm not talking about when he took over. I'm talking about when he joined. Once he joined, and we really got to
And then
see
listen the
how
one
good
that
he
he
really
didn't
is.
listen to what
When he
Farouk
was
was saying and
slowly
all that stuff.
trying to take over the
Yeah.
nation.
Okay.
Yes, that Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when all the catchphrases started coming through. He was Intercontinental
Mm-hmm.
Champion. That before all that ab surgery and all that. He was still
Right.
Rocky Maivia, but still had the rock on his tights. Yeah, but Hollywood Rock was damn good. When he came back, he fought
Yeah,
Goldberg. When he fought Hogan, he finally beat Austin.
he finally got
Yeah,
that
that
monkey off his
definitely was a
back
good one.
when he beat Austin, because Austin beat him a lot of times. And then you could tell in his face it was kind of
Right,
like, whew, sigh of relief.
right. And he's actually gonna be one of the people to help induct Ken Shamrock in the Impact Hall of
Hmm.
Fame. Which, by the way, that should have been done a long time ago. I'm like, because he was your
Well,
first NWA TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and you just putting him in now. I know, he was in WWE for a minute,
Intercontinental
which
champion,
he had a great
tag
career
champion.
because Austin, because I'm about to say Austin,
Right?
Shamrock
And
and
you
Rock
know
over
that
that
incident,
Intercontinental
you know
title
what
was
they
damn
known
good
for,
feud.
the chair shot to the face.
So, and,
Hmm.
right, which he told him to take, which he told him to do that, and he Rock didn't want to
Right.
do it, but he did it. And he knew how to swing a chair. Now we about to
Oh,
we about to
wow. Okay.
take it down to world class. Yeah, we about to take it down to world class, and this was a good one. Do you think the Von Erichs would have been big stars
Hmm.
outside of
That is
Texas?
a very good question. Um, Maybe one of them would, but I don't see all of them. And the one I'm talking about is Kerry. Kerry would have been a bigger star outside, but not the rest of them, because Kerry stood out to me.
Now we talking if all of them was alive, because they said David would have been the star. David would have been
Yeah,
NWA
that's
World
true
Heavyweight
too.
Champion had he
I
not passed
mean,
away.
I would say David and Kerry, but the rest of them now.
And
But
I think as far as Kerry go, I think Kerry was comfortable in Texas, which
mhm.
there's no shame in that. I mean that's your house. I think he
So
was
you
afraid
think
to
that his
go out of his
WWE
element
run wasn't good, or
because it
even though he
wasn't.
was in the Continental Champion,
It wasn't. It was short.
like what
And
it
it kind of ten
was,
when
yeah,
he lost it a month later. It's like he didn't want to
yeah.
go to the moon. I know he had his demons and whatnot, but had David been alive, we would have known who Caravan Era was, but we would have not known who truly how big Eric is if David would have stayed alive. And and I think
Now that would have
Kevin
been a
should
good
have went
tag
with
team,
him to
no doubt. Yeah,
WWE.
I think Kevin was comfortable as well. Yeah,
I mean, especially during the time when they had
yeah.
a lot of tag teams. You got the Von
Hmm.
Erichs, two of them. I mean, that would have been money. Just think about. I would have loved to seen them.
Oh
I
yeah.
just throw some names. I would love to see them fight the Brain Busters. I mean, that
Right.
would have been straight wrestling 101.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like a hit or miss to me as far as
I
them
guess the reason I
being what they
mentioned
were.
well, I guess the
Because it's
reason I
like I
mentioned
mean,
Kerry
Dusty Rhodes,
because of
he was
his
Texas.
build. He was a big dude. I guess he could kind of stood out. That's the reason why. Now I know David could talk. He was the talker of the group. He could cut promos and he could. He was a baby face, true baby face. He was like Ricky Steamboat up here in Texas. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he wasn't like big muscular wise,
yeah.
but they said he was one of the best wrestlers. And I would have loved to see him and Flair go at it. That would have been again. You talk about wrestling 101. That would have been
Uh-huh.
another one. But let's
All
throw
right.
some ha ha
Oh
into these
gosh.
questions. Right, Billy.
Yeah, that's it. I can't got nothing to say on that one.
Dad, I'm gonna just leave it right there. I do have some say on it because that could have been easily a career killer. I mean, no disrespect to the Honky Tonk Man, love him, big fan, greatest
Hmm.
intercontinental champion of all time. I know you probably didn't write that, You probably didn't even push that. I mean, you did what you can, but that could have been an easy career because we
Right.
probably know how good Billy Gunn really is had it not been for Road Dogg. Had whoever wrote that and said, "Let's put these two together and make them the New
Right.
Age
And then
Outlaws,"
another one. Right.
we wouldn't have known.
Right.
And he didn't
And then
seem like he
another
was even
one,
interested.
Tennessee Lee. That right.
I didn't get that. Why couldn't you? You couldn't be
He
Robert
just was he
Fuller.
was Colonel Parker just
You
with a
could get
different
Colonel
shirt.
Robert Fuller.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And at one time, because I didn't really see Colonel Parker
Yep.
until he started managing. I
He
didn't
was a
know for
real
a
good
long
wrestler.
time
I'm
that he
telling you,
was a
he
wrestler
was the
and a
Tennessee
damn good
stud,
one.
Robert Fuller. Memphis Wrestling. Yeah.
I mean, he was in some damn good shape.
Oh yeah, he got the folks hating him
He
too.
was
He
good
was
on that
like Eddie Gilbert.
microphone,
They was like
boy.
right there with each other as far as he goes. You know.
And then he got with
That
Jeff
was what, the
Jarrett and
early
turned good,
90s?
and they won those
Yeah.
USWA tag belts. Yep, yep. And then he was teaming up
Right. He teamed
with
up with his
Bunkhouse
brother. I
Buck
think
back
it was
then.
Ron Fuller. He teamed up with his brother Ron Fuller.
And come out
That's right.
back then, he was
Bunkhouse
known as a
Buck.
Jimmy Gold, and they're cousins in real life.
That's right.
Yep, he was Jimmy Golden back then. And that's two. If you
Oh
look
yeah,
at
no
Bunkhouse
doubt
Buck and
about
Jimmy
that.
Gold, you talk about a contrast.
Yeah, they was, man. They
But
had
back then,
different
that stable was
people in it,
damn
but it was a
great.
great, probably one of the greatest stables in Memphis wrestling history. And then they moved it to WCW when he came there.
Now you say one of the great stables. Now,
It's kind
would you
of
take the
pushing,
Stud
yeah,
stable over the
maybe.
First Family?
Jimmy
Well, that's pushing it
Jimmy Hart
just a
just
little
pretty
bit.
much had anybody that was going after Jerry. So anybody that was anybody was in the First Family. Terry Funk, Coco, when he was a heel. The Bruise Brothers, you know, the list goes on and on. He just pretty much had all heels. I wouldn't call it like a faction. He was like Paul Jones in
I think
Mid Atlantic. You know, Paul Jones's army. It was Jimmy Hart like that. Yeah.
right. Oh yeah, and think about it, like I
Right.
said, he has so many just great talent.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing, he's in his 70s now. He's still getting around, still doing shows,
Oh
still
yeah,
doing
he is.
interviews.
I
And
met
another,
him
you talk about
myself.
like nicest people to meet. He, he one of
Mm-mm.
those types like for an autograph and a picture and all that. He's not going to break the bank with you
And he loves saying
because he know
baby all
he
the
can make
time.
that one because
How's it
everybody
going,
loves Jimmy Hart.
baby? He'll do all that, you know. Yeah.
All right. I mean, if you haven't seen Jimmy Hart in
Right.
person, look like he ain't age. He put them glasses on, don't look like he aged at all. And I asked him, I
Mm-hmm.
said, do a lot of the old school wrestlers still call you Colonel? He was like, you know something, baby? He
Right.
said, it
That's
says
when
very
Hawkey
few people that still remember I was Colonel
was with
Jimmy
him. He
Hart.
called him Colonel because they were doing that after Colonel Tom Parker. That was Elvis Presley's manager. So yeah, that's why they call him Colonel.
Right.
No
See?
pass, people.
So,
No pass.
I
That's
said,
right.
get
No
out them
pass, people.
youngsters. You just learned something right there. You might write that down. That is one. That is we're gonna start
Of the
calling
night.
stuff that we pull
That's a
out the
good one.
notepad
Yes.
moment of the night.
Mm-hmm.
That is the notepad moment of the night. And if you're wondering
Right.
where I'm going with that, just like Booker T got the shuck it, duck it, quack quack moment, we're gonna have the notepad
That's
moment
right.
of the night, and that was it. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I said because I didn't even know that.
So yeah, so we can add that to the list of on the Get Snap podcast,
And
the notepad moment of the night.
Right. There it is. And if we ever go live on cameras and do this, we're gonna get the little notepads,
Right.
gonna jump up and have it writing something on the
You think?
notepad.
Right. Because I'm thinking
Because every
big here.
day
You
we
think
learn
we could do
something.
conventions
And
like
so
they
did
do
I.
with the podcast, like Arn Anderson's and Jim Cornette's and stuff like that?
I wouldn't mind doing that. And if I would have thought about it, I would have done it. I would have asked to do it at
Right.
Lawler's 50th
Nothing wrong with
anniversary.
asking.
We probably would have got denied, but at least I would have asked. I'm about to say, because I'm gonna say, much as we support USA Championship Wrestling, I wouldn't mind doing a
Because see, we're
podcast,
fans.
and
We're
that's
fans
something
of
I might
wrestling.
even consider.
And the fans can
So,
relate to us because they're fans, you know.
right, and I can have people come
Right.
on. See, that was something I would definitely have to do on camera. That way, that's something I definitely have to do like
Right.
on YouTube or Zoom or something like that. That way I could bring wrestlers on and talk to us,
Mm-hmm.
talk to the people, especially those young guys that a lot of people don't know. That's definitely it.
All right.
Well, let's go to we're gonna swing it all the way back to NXT. You
Why
know, one
not?
time they talked about having
I have
NXT
no problem
Japan.
with
Is
it.
that a good
They
idea?
got NXT UK. They might as well go to Japan as well because that is a huge market, you know, very huge market.
Yeah. Right. The only thing I see wrong with that, I
Yeah.
could see definitely a conflict with him in New Japan, because that's where it's all the big names they're in New Japan. I mean, they got smaller,
But the room,
independent Japanese companies,
right?
but if NXT Japan who are they going to focus on? The stars that's
Well, there
already
was
up there, try
rumor
to
that
bring
they
them
were
in,
trying to buy
or you're
Pro
going to build
Wrestling
new
Nova
Japanese talent?
and use that at NXT Japan.
Yep, that wouldn't have been a bad idea. Especially a lot of American wrestlers, you know, they'll do a lot of
Right.
these Japan events. A lot of American
I
wrestlers
don't have no
are
problem
in
with it.
Japan right now. Why not? But
There you go. He's
and
already
I
the
do even better.
ambassador,
I have Kyrie
so
Sane be the GM.
why not?
I mean, right, and let a female do it. And speaking on GMs and commissioners and whatnot, should all the
Yeah, they
brands have
need to. They
one?
need to
Is
have
what
some sort of
NXT and
authority
NXT
figure
UK the
there
only two that
because
have one?
unless Triple H ain't gonna be there all the time. So yeah,
Well, it
yeah,
looks like they slowly
that
pushing
scrap iron
Adam Pearce
himself.
in that role.
Yeah,
Now let me think something about Adam Pearce,
right.
because I'm sure there are people that don't know. Adam Pearce, scrap iron, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and was a damn good champion. Adam Pearce was damn good in that ring. So he's not just somebody that just back there doing security or stuff like that. Scrap iron was the business in that ring. Now,
Right.
like I said, they
hmm
slowly look like they're bringing him in because he up there booking matches. Really?
And plus, he can
So
take
I
care of
wouldn't mind
himself
having
too.
him
He used to
be,
wrestle,
the
so
GM on both shows.
they can't really push him around. So
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Let him do. So give Adam Pearce that
hmm
opportunity. I mean, he's showing he's comfortable on TV,
right.
and what he did for Vince, like going to the Firefly Funhouse and all that. So don't be
Yeah.
surprised it happens around draft time or right after the draft. Let's see, we got any more? Okay, got another one. We're gonna take it back, and we pretty much go to any federation on this question.
Now,
What were your thoughts
for
on Jesse the
me,
Body
I
Ventura?
remembered him as the announcer. Now, I seen him. As I got older, I saw his wrestling matches, and man, could he talk? He could talk. Him and Adrian Adonis, the East West connection.
Oh
I
yes.
think that was a real good underrated tag team because they was really good. You know, and when Jesse broke out, of course
Oh
he
yes.
wanted to be like superstar Billy Graham, just like Hogan did. And so he had the feathered earrings and the hats and and Jesse was no slouch.
Yep.
Right, the tie dye. Jesse was no slouch. He was a big dude.
And the
He used to
tie
be a
dye.
Navy SEAL, So yeah, Jesse was a good talker. He always
Yep.
loved, huh?
Jesse had the yeah, we had
He was,
both had
yeah,
the
he
little
was,
piece of hair in the back, and he wasn't like jacked
yeah,
back
and
then, but he was like you said he was in great shape. But them
right,
them them old AWA promos with Mean Gene we used to interview him. Legendary. I don't
right,
think he got
because
a lot.
especially when he
I don't
was
think he got
announcing,
the due
he
he deserved.
loved to stir the pot with the baby faces. That's what I liked about Jesse. You know, he always instigated
All day.
everything, going on, like giving Rick Rude the Jesse the Body Award or disliking Hogan. Yeah. The only person he never talked bad about was Randy Savage.
Oh yeah. Nope.
Right.
Because he always used to call it how Randy Savage was gonna turn out. And
Mm-hmm.
then when he went to WCW, he had the strongest arm contest. And again, if anybody
Right.
was from
And
Minnesota,
Jesse could have worked out in WCW because he
best
was
believe he
pretty
was
much the
talking about
same
him.
on the camera as when he was in WWE. I love listening to his voice. I like him calling matches and
Right.
make fun of the announcer he next to, stuff like that. It was cool.
And if somebody did something wrong, he was like, "So wait a minute.
It's okay,
So
yeah.
so if he does it, it's a problem. But since you like him,
Right.
it's okay."
Especially with
He
Gorilla
used to nail a
Monsoon.
lot of stuff, and he was right. Oh, I mean,
Right.
Gorilla was. I mean, anybody wrote Gorilla was off the chain. But no, that leads up to the final
Oh
question.
wow.
Best
The
announced
best
team.
announced team. I Okay.
I
That's
got.
a good
I
one.
gotta say
That's a
Bobby and
real good
Gorilla.
one.
I got to.
Now, for me, I think it was Jesse and Gorilla.
I,
The way they feed off each other. Gorilla was always for the baby faces and Jesse was always for the heels. You know,
you all right?
him hosting and even Vince and Jesse was good. Cause he always antagonized Vince all the time, which made it even funnier.
Oh yeah.
Especially when they did the Saturday Night Main Event when they rode the horse. Remember that? Hell, Jesse was getting on Vince's case about that. Because the horse
I
almost
remember
kicked
that.
the other horse. Yeah. I think they was in Texas when they did
Oh,
that.
that was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, he was
That's
just
it.
great. Yeah, he
Even
was real
back
good.
then, even on TV, he was good on that microphone. And for all you youngins that don't know what I'm talking about, just type in AWA East West
Yeah.
Connection. They're gonna show you. You're gonna get a lot of the interviews. They got a lot of matches, but
Right.
they got a lot of interview segments with them and Mean Gene.
Yeah.
Because Adrian Adonis, he was an okay talker,
Right. Because see, he was the
but
one of those
he was
dudes that
way.
needed a
This was way
manager.
before the adorable one.
That's where Jimmy Hart came in when he was adorable. Yeah.
And then he just got right. Then he got all big. Then they had the Adrian
Oh,
Adonis.
that was
What they
Playboy
call it
Buddy
when they had the
Rose.
powder and you blow the powder, the fat go away.
Yeah, talking about the fat blower or something, whatever they
Buddy
call
Rose,
it.
see yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Playboy Buddy Rose was that one. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was around
powder. That's
1990.
right, that was Buddy Rose. Another former,
Him,
that's when he was pretty much out the door. But he was a former AWA tag champion, managed by the late
right.
great
And
sensational
his tag
Sherry.
partner,
Had
Pretty
damn
Boy
good
Doug
feuds
Summers.
with the then Midnight Rockers.
Uh-huh.
I remember when
Van
was
Hammer.
that
I think
Halloween
that was his
Havoc
debut.
'91? I think when he fought a heavy metal
Right.
Van Hammer, look,
Mm-hmm.
looking like a straight up
I
jobber.
remember that.
Because Michael Hayes was supposed to wrestle him.
Right.
Those were them days. And that's what I love
Oh
about
my
this show.
goodness.
But
we already here.
we have come to the end of the road.
All right.
We already at. Time flies when you are having a good time. I'll tell you that right now. Now, before we go, if you want to, if the people want to know, you might be getting
Well, they can
some
follow me
letters,
on
might get some messages, maybe.
Instagram at
Where can the
Country
fans
Cousin
reach you on
901.
social
That's
media?
KUNTRYKUZZIN 901. Follow me there. You can follow me on Facebook at Antoine Milam. That's my Facebook page. And also, I got an announcement to make. I have a gaming channel now. Yeah, it's called. Oh yeah, it's called the
Really?
901 Shogun. That's my gaming channel.
Preach on
And
it.
I got a few videos on there. I'm still working the kinks out on that, so stay tuned for that. I want y'all to go subscribe to that because I'll be posting videos soon. You know, I'm a laid back gamer that play old school, new school, any school. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Y'all can follow me there.
And there it is. So y'all make sure if y'all gotta play this back to get that information, do it. Let's support. And on my end, again, y'all know www.snackcustoms.com, YouTube, Bad Superman TV, and I'm probably post a couple more videos between today and tomorrow that y'all can check out. Definitely support it. Thank you for supporting the Get Snap podcast. More countries, come check us out. You're missing out. Cause we got Singapore and the UK and Ireland and Germany. We got all them in there.
Yeah, we got
come join in. I want to see
sisters,
China. I
no
want to see
doubt.
Japan. I want to see Africa. I want to see.
Right.
I want it to be the straight international. But until then, we out of here for the night. We'll be talking to y'all soon.
Peace.
This is the Get Snap podcast.